Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Glanisha. I'm with Family Network on Disabilities Pop-In Program, and I'm so excited to be before you today with another presentation entitled Beginning the Journey. Welcome. Beginning the Journey explores early intervention services and the early step system, the eligibility process, and how the IFSP, or Individualized Family Support Plan, is written and procedural safeguards for families. I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I'm also excited to share that I have been with Family Network on Disabilities for a little over a year. It has been a wonderful experience working with this great nonprofit and the different families that I get to provide resources for. So before we get into this information, I want to share a little bit more about FND and who we are and what we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, meaning we don't work for local, state, or federal agencies or schools. We are funded in part by the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Health. We are a free service because of grants. We are the statewide Parent Training Information Center, known as the PTI, and the statewide Family to Family Health Information Center. We are family driven. We were founded in 1985 by parents of children with disabilities who came together for mutual support and sharing of information. Family Network on Disabilities is a national network for individuals of all ages who may be at risk, have disabilities, or have special needs, and their families. We also serve professionals and concerned citizens. FND is unique due to the majority of our board members, management staff, and all field staff have family members who are persons living with disabilities. It's very important that every time I come before you, I explain in our disclaimer what we do and what we don't. Our disclaimer states, we are not attorneys, doctors, or medical professionals. The following information is not legal or medical advice. However, we do share information, resources, and supports for you and your family. Information is research-based to create our trainings, and we always encourage collaboration with agencies and schools. So let's dive right into this information. In this webinar, we will be talking about the Early Steps program. It is our goal to provide you with general information of the program, important steps of the early intervention process, and explanation of your rights while in the program. What is early intervention, known as EI? No one ever expects to have a child with special needs. And as a parent, no one is ever prepared to receive the news that their child may have a disability. It's normal to go through different emotional stages that might include frustration, denial, or fear. Beginning the journey with the support of the Early Intervention Program can help. Early intervention are the services offered to eligible infants and toddlers birth to 36 months with significant delays or a condition likely to result in a developmental delay. Early intervention is provided to support families and caregivers in developing the competence and confidence to help their child learn and develop. Services that are designed to meet the developmental needs of an eligible child and their family, as stated in the Individualized Family Support Plan and provided under public supervision by qualified personnel through private and public resources. Early intervention services are funded under Part C of the Individuals with Disabilities Act, known as the IDEA. In the state of Florida, the Early Step system is in charge of the provision of early intervention services and families to their children. Why is early intervention so important? I'd like to read this to you by Sean Coffin Phillips. During the first 3 years of life, the brain undergoes dramatic development as the child acquires the ability to think, speak, learn, and reason. 0 to 3 website tells us that a child's brain undergoes an amazing period of development from birth to 3, producing more than 1 million neural connections each second. This is from 0to3.org. This information lets us know that ages 0 to 3 are critical for our children's development, and that is why early intervention is so important. There are 5 areas of child development that are important for us to look at: cognitive development, physical development, communication development, social or emotional development, and adaptive development. A child may be found eligible for early intervention services when experiencing developmental delays as measured by appropriate diagnostic instruments and procedures in one or more of the developmental areas. Also, if diagnosed with a physical or mental condition that has a high probability of resulting in developmental delay. Some examples are very low birth weight, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, microcephaly, spina bifida, autism spectrum disorder, and congenital Zika virus infection. Part C awards grants to states to assist them in implementing statewide systems of coordinated, comprehensive, multidisciplinary interagency programs and making early intervention services available to children with disabilities aged birth through 3 and their families. Under the program, states are responsible for ensuring that appropriate early intervention services are made available to all eligible birth through 3-year-olds with disabilities and their families, including Indian children and families who reside on reservations geographically located in the state. And this information is found at www.2.ed.gov. In Florida, we have Early Steps. Early Steps services are based on Early Steps evaluations and your family's concerns, resources, and goals. Early Steps uses a team-based primary service provider approach, which aims to empower each eligible family by providing a comprehensive team of professionals from the beginning of services through transition. The goal is for the family to receive strong support from one person, provide a comprehensive team of professionals from beginning to end, and for the family to have fewer appointments and more time to be a family. Services are provided to the family and child where they live, learn, and play to enable the family to implement developmentally appropriate learning opportunities during everyday activities and routines. Most services will be early intervention home visits. Who can refer to Early Steps and how much does it cost? So this is information from Early Steps, not Family Network on Disabilities. We offer the resources, but this is what Early Steps is explaining for me to share with you all. Early Steps receives referrals from other sources like pediatricians' offices, community partners, and child care centers. We ask our referral to at least inform the parent of the referral. Our program is voluntary. This means that you are in control. Parents can accept and decline services and stay in our program as long as they consider the supports necessary. Services are at no cost to the family. We bill insurance or Medicaid if available. We never bill families. No income criteria is necessary to qualify or receive services. The only essential criteria is your child's development. If you have a concern about your child's development, you don't have to wait. Parents and caregivers are welcome to contact Early Steps to refer their child or reopen the case. Early Steps has no more than 45 business days to complete these steps and start providing services to the eligible child. The first contact phase. This is the phase of the Early Steps process that occurs between referral and the initial evaluation assessment. For example, the first 44 days of a family's involvement with Early Steps. The purpose of the first contacts process is to gather information about the child and family in preparation for the evaluation and assessment and provide the family with information about Early Steps. The initial contact, most often a telephone call, is to occur within 5 working days of the referral. This is the first time an LES representative makes contact with the family to inform them that a referral has been received and advise them of the next steps of the process. Our first thing, individual assessment and evaluation. Under IDEA, it states, each eligible child, regardless of how eligibility is determined, must receive an initial and ongoing assessment. The assessment of each child must include A, a review of the results of the evaluation, B, personal observation of the child, and C, identification of the needs of the child and family. Evaluation. The multidisciplinary procedures used by appropriate qualified personnel to determine a child's initial and continuing eligibility for early steps, consistent with the definition of infants and toddlers with disabilities in IDEA 303.21, including determining the status of the child in each of the developmental areas. An initial evaluation refers to the child's evaluation to determine his or her eligibility. What's the goal of the assessment? And we can look here. We want to find the child's unique strengths and their needs. Also, the family's resources, priorities, and concerns. This information that we see here is part of the writing of the Individualized Family Support Plan, known as the IFSP. In this Individualized Family Support Plan, we have family's information, getting to know the child and family, health status and insurance, developmental screening results, service coordination, child's assessment and eligibility determination, part 1 and 2, outcome, goals and strategies, services needed to achieve outcomes, and transition. So quite a bit of information is covered in this Individualized Family Support Plan. On this slide, you'll see some of the services provided by early intervention. Please note that these are home-based interventions in the natural environment. And we have all of these listed here. Service coordinator, infant toddler developmental specialist, family resource specialist, speech and language pathologist, physical therapy, and occupational therapists. Early intervention should be provided in the child's natural environment. Inclusion starts at home, a setting that is natural or typical for a same-age infant or toddler without disability. Places and people the child knows, trusts, and interact with or within on a daily basis. Some information that you can find to help you with this is at parentcenterhub.org. Combining these two sets of provisions makes it clear that intervention services must be provided in settings that are natural or typical for same-aged infant or toddler without a disability to the maximum extent appropriate. Also, may be provided in other settings only when the services cannot be achieved satisfactorily in the natural environment. Once a year, there is an IFSP review, a face-to-face annual review of the child's development in all domains, including review of existing evaluations and assessment from community partners and a determination of continuing eligibility. The IFSP team will review the success and appropriateness of the services authorized on the IFSP and considers revisions of the Individualized Family Support Plan as needed and agreed upon by the Individualized Family Support Plan team. At a minimum, the family, service coordinator, and at least one other professional member of the team must attend. IDEA Part C refers to this review as an annual evaluation of the IFSP. Procedural safeguards, very important here. Records and confidentiality in release of information. Parents have the right to request a copy of your child's records at any time. The first copy will be provided for free. Prior written notice in native language. You must be given prior written notice in a reasonable time before early steps or a service provider proposes to initiate a change or refuses to initiate a change, the identification, evaluation, or placement of your child, or the provision of appropriate early intervention services for your child and family. The notice will help you be more prepared and will state information including the action that is being proposed or refused, the reasons for taking the action, all procedural safeguards that are available under early steps, and the early steps complaint procedures and timelines. Parental consent. Early steps needs your permission to take actions that affect your child. You will be asked to give your consent in writing before early steps conducts a screening, evaluation, or assessment, private insurance is used, personally identifiable information is disclosed, or before early intervention services are provided. Consent means that you are fully informed in your native language or other mode of communication of all information related to the activity that Early Steps is requesting your consent, that you understand and agree in writing to the carrying out of the activity in which your consent is being requested, and the consent describes the activity and lists the records, if any, that will be released and to whom, and that you understand that giving your consent is voluntary and can be taken away at any time. Surrogate parents. If a child is a ward of the state, a surrogate parent may be appointed by the judge overseeing the infant or toddler's case, provided that the surrogate parent meets federal and state requirements. Mediation. Mediation is free to you and does not interfere with your right to a due process hearing or any other rights in Early Steps. Mediation discussions are confidential and will not be used in a subsequent due process hearing or civil proceeding. Mediation will be scheduled in a timely manner within 21 calendar days of the receipt of a request signed by both parties and will be held in a location that is convenient to all parties. Any agreements reached in mediation will be put in writing and signed by all parties. Complaint procedures. You have the right to file a complaint alleging that Early Steps or a service provider has violated a requirement of Early Steps. Complaints must be written and signed and include the following information. 1, a statement that Early Steps or a service provider has violated your rights. 2, the facts on which the complaint is based. 3, your signature and contact information. 4, the name and address of the residence of your child. 5, the name of the provider serving your child. 6, a description of the nature of the problem of the child, including facts relating to the problem. 7, a proposed resolution of the problem to the extent known and available to you at the time the complaint is filed. And 8, an allegation of a violation that occurred within 1 year prior to the date the complaint is received. Complaints must be mailed to the Florida Department of Health, Children's Medical Services, Early Steps State Office, and we can get this address for you if necessary. So that was quite a bit of information, but it was just a general overview of what happens at the beginning of your journey. We have another presentation that gives us a little bit more detailed information that I'll be sharing with you. Before we finish up our presentation for today, let me share with you about our FND family. These are the programs housed under Family Network on Disabilities. Each program provides a unique service to a specific population. PTI stands for Parent Training and Information Centers. We are funded in part by the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs, and we have POPIN, which serves North Florida, known as Parents Offering Parents Information and Networking. And this is my program. I work with 2 other wonderful parent trainers and our wonderful boss, and we cover Northwest Florida. We also have PSN, which serves Central and Southwest Florida, and they're known as the Parent Support Network. PEN, which serves Central and Southeast Florida, known as Parent Education Network, and our Family Star program, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Health under Health Resources and Service Administration. Family Star assists families of children and youth with special healthcare needs. They help them to make informed decisions about healthcare for their children. Inside FND, we also have our FND Special Needs Trust. This Special Needs Trust provides comprehensive special needs services, including service as a trustee, co-trustee, or trust administrator. We handle all types of special needs trust. And we have Dadvocates. Dadvocates is a network of dads that promotes the involvement of fathers in the lives of their children with disabilities. We can provide your group with specific workshop topics, or you can just meet for father-to-father networking, community outings, information and resources, and help with personal coping. And finally, we have our fndusa.org webpage that you can visit and get our downloadable resources. We have these special healthcare resources, social stories, and a sound bank, and you can get the information in Spanish. We are also present on social media, very active on Facebook and Instagram, and you can see our posts that we have as well too. We also have X also and YouTube. And if you are interested in going to a non-accredited online system specially designed to help parents and professionals learn more about special education at their own pace, we invite you to visit fndusa.org/FND University/, and it's available in English and Spanish. Thank you again for coming to this presentation and taking the time to learn about early intervention services for our sweet babies ages 0 to 3. I look forward to giving you more information on beginning the journey 2 in another presentation. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.